guys, if you're new to Deception Bites, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. All right, guys, I'm back, and it is Friday, September 27th, and it is 9:14 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's get to it. I've already done one video tonight. This is my second, so we are going to just jump right into the news. All righty. All right. Now, I'm going to more or less pick up from where I left off. And I think we're going to start here. Start at the beginning because it's a very good place to start. I hope you're all doing well. And I am doing it better than I was last night. I was in a lot of pain with my back, and I'm doing much better, but I'm kind of babying it today. All right, so this is a very interesting thread, and I'm just going to read it to you because you'll get the gist. Okay, it says, 1, as a former CIA analyst, and this is Fred Fleitz, as a former CIA analyst and former NSC official who edited transcripts of POTUS phone calls with foreign leaders, here are my thoughts on the whistleblower complaint, which was just released. Well, we're not going to go to that because we know that the complaint has absolutely nothing to do with the actual phone call. That's already been determined, and I have read it. So, all right. Now, number 2, this is not an intelligence matter. It is a policy matter and a complaint about differences over policy. Presidential phone calls are not an intelligence concern. The fact that IC offers the fact that IC officers transcribe these calls does not give the IG jurisdiction over these calls. 3, it appears that rules restricting access and knowledge of these sensitive calls was breached. This official was not on this call, not on the approved dissemination list, and should not have been briefed on the call. Agreed. Now, this is very good news because it's somebody's opinion, but it's based on fact. He himself has done this job, and so he's giving us, just straight facts, and I appreciate this very, very much, and I think it's good, and I think I would be doing a disservice if I didn't bring this to you for those that are not aware of it. So, number 3. The way the complaint was written suggested the author had a lot of help. I know from my work on the House Intel Committee staff that many whistleblowers go directly to the Intel oversight committees. Did this whistleblower first meet with House Intel committee members? 4, it is therefore important that Congress find out where this complaint came from. What did House and Senate Intel Committee Dem members and staff know about it, and when? Did they help orchestrate this complaint? I think we know the answer to that. 5, my view is that this whistleblower complaint is too convenient and too perfect to come from a typical whistleblower. Were other IC officers involved? Were outside groups opposed to the president involved? And I think we know the answer to that as well. This complaint will further damage IC relations with the White House for many years to come because IC officers appear to be politicizing presidential phone calls with foreign officials and their access to the president and his activities in the White House. Worst of all, this IC officer and probably others have blatantly crossed the line into policy. This violates a core responsibility of IC officers, which is to inform but not make policy. This is such a grievous violation of trust between the IC and the White House that it would not surprise me if IC officers are barred from all access to POTUS phone calls with foreign officials. So, and it says this tweet is, these are replies. Yeah, I'm not going to go through the replies. We've got enough stuff to look at, but this is good stuff. It's just plain fact, and it lays it out, and I thought this was extremely worthwhile to bring to you, and extremely worthwhile to know, because this person knows what they're talking about. It's not just opinion. All right, and let's go on to the next one. Now, this I find very interesting. This is from Rush Limbaugh, and instead of playing it, or instead of reading it, I'm going to play it for you.
Trump colluding with Russia, it was about Obama-Clinton election fixing. It was about the illicit help they received from the FBI, the DOJ, and various intelligence agencies. That's why Trump wants to know about CrowdStrike. That's why Trump told the president of Ukraine to dig into CrowdStrike. Trump wants to fully expose what happened in 2016. He wants to drain the swamp. He wants to expose all of the corruption and the shenanigans that have been going on in this country, in the deep state, for decades. He doesn't care who he runs against in 2020. He isn't trying to eliminate Biden from the race as much as he wants to expose the corruption surrounding the Obama administration. The Obama administration was as dirty as the day is long, and the people that ran that administration are still as dirty as the day is long. Let me tell you who the real whistleblower is. The real whistleblower is Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump is the most important whistleblower ever. Donald J. Trump is blowing the whistle on the entire Washington deep state, administrative state, establishment, elites, however you wish to characterize it. He is the whistleblower. And he has a minimum of 65 million people on his side, sticking with him and supporting him. United States government has been out of control for a long time. The American people didn't know the extent to which it has been out of control. It has developed a life of its own, independent from the Constitution, independent from the founding principles of our country. The Washington government, the Washington ruling class, has set up their own little fiefdom, which is designed to enrich them, protect them, secure futures for their kids at the expense of the country at large.
So true. That is the most incredible little packed piece of information. I mean, it's just, and it's not really information. It's just that he is saying it like it is. Donald Trump, real whistleblower, 2016 election wasn't about Trump colluding with Russia. It was about Obama-Clinton election fixing. That's why Trump wants to know about CrowdStrike. That's why Trump told the president of the Ukraine to dig into CrowdStrike. There it is, folks. It's all encapsulated in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. The gist of all of it. Just, it's incredible, really, what lengths the Democrats will go to cast dispersion on Donald Trump. Anything. They don't care. They're ruining this man's name. You know, he's not even taking a salary. He doesn't take a salary at all. He's doing this for free. While he lets his businesses be run by others, he's losing money. He's not getting rich off the backs of the taxpayers. He's not. He's losing money. What president ever has lost money while in office? Certainly not the Obamas. So, yeah, I don't get this. It's so obvious that he's for the country. I don't know any other human being on this planet that would put up with day after day after day seeing their name dragged through the mud, constantly being made fun of, constantly being told he's an idiot, people lying about him constantly, people trying to set him up constantly? Who could deal with that kind of stress? I don't think you could, and I know I couldn't. So, I don't know. When does it end? Or does it not end? I mean, I pray to God sincerely that this ends for the sake of the American people and for the sake of the world who's watching. And don't you think they're not watching? They are. Otherwise, people from other countries would not be interested in listening to me. And I know there are people from many countries that listen. So they're interested in this. They want to know what's going on, because what affects the United States affects them. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's go on now. And this from the DC Patriot. And come on now. All right. Okay, it says WikiLeaks audio tape of Seymour Hersh discussing WikiLeaks DNC leaks and Seth Rich. The FBI found that Seth Rich had submitted a series of documents and emails from the DNC to a protected Dropbox, of which WikiLeaks was able to access before he was killed, which kind of makes it clear the reason he was killed. They tried to make us believe that the DNC was hacked by an outside source and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was just so ridiculous. Ridiculous. Wow, FBI's McCabe leaked intel about Seth Rich, new lawsuit says. A new lawsuit filed on behalf of Dallas business mogul Ed Butowski fires shots back at the deep state today. Now, this is from July. All right. This is the first time I'm seeing this, but it was actually originally written in July. In the new lawsuit, Butowski claims that Pulitzer Prize-winning author Seymour Hersh told him intelligence information about the Seth Rich murder. Now that has been amplified, as Butowski now says Hersh's sources was none other than Deputy Director of FBI Andrew McCabe. In the audio, which can be found by searching Hersh right here at the DC Patriot, and you can do that yourself, the DCPatriot.com, and just search for Hersh, Hersh. In the audio, which can be found by searching Hersh right here at the DC Patriot, goes into vivid detail about Seth Rich being the WikiLeaks source. The website, debunkingrodwheelersclaims.com, now at debunkingrodwheelersclaims.net, was launched in November of 2017, and it published texts, emails, audio, and video showing that Rod Wheeler had never been misrepresented by Mr. Butowski, Ms. Zimmerman, or Fox News, including the email quoted above in paragraph 51. The evidence on the website showed unequivocally that Mr. Wheeler had lied to other media about them. The website also included audio of famed journalist Seymour Cy Hersh stating that he had confirmed that Seth Rich was responsible for leaking the DNC emails. According to Mr. Hersh, who was by no means a Republican or a Trump supporter, he could not find a media outlet willing to publish the Seth Rich story. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be that the all of the mainstream outlets are in the pocket of the Democrats? Gee, I think that might be it. They're not going to publish anything that looks bad to Hillary Clinton or to the DNC. That we know. So, not surprising he couldn't find anybody to publish the story. In a separate phone call with Mr. Butowski, Mr. Hersh said he obtained his information about Seth Rich from Mr. McCabe, the deputy FBI director, not later than December of 2017. All of the defendants in this lawsuit were aware of the contents of debunkingrodwheelersclaims.com. Butowski now claims in a separate phone call that Hersh told him that Andrew McCabe was indeed the source. Now, this is 6 minutes long, and so it's a little bit long to be playing. And I usually, my rule is, generally 3 minutes and under, I'll play it. But anything over that, but you know where to find this, dcpatriot.com. And it says, when you listen to the original audio, Hirsch claims that he has a guy at the FBI and his information is solid. This is yet another massive development in the fake Russian hacking story perpetrated by the Democrats. And this was written by Matt Couch. He has done phenomenal work in bringing this story to the forefront and keeping it in the forefront. He's on Twitter. If you want to look him up, he's a good person to follow, but he has done amazing work. So there you go. Not surprising at all. We knew that Seth Rich was the one that leaked. Or, well, he didn't really, well, he did leak in a sense. He gave these, the information directly on a flash drive to WikiLeaks, to a WikiLeaks Dropbox, actually. All right, so let's go back. No, really, let's. Okay, now this is a little bit odd and confusing. And I don't know what's up with this. I haven't heard an update on this, but if you are in Burlington, Vermont, perhaps you know, and it wouldn't surprise me if I have one or two listeners in that area. So if you know, please put it in the comments below, because it says Bernie Sanders, Burlington, Vermont office being evacuated by police. Vermont, the offices of Senator Bernie Sanders in Burlington were being evacuated Thursday afternoon due to a suspicious package. Police said the scene is located at 1 Church Street on the 3rd floor. Officers say they have cleared offices in the building out of an abundance of caution. But it's interesting because I would have thought this would be all over the news, and it wasn't. And I wonder if this was kind of like a false flag sort of thing to make it seem like, Trump supporter or something was targeting him. I don't know. Maybe it went wrong. I don't know. But it's odd that it's not all over the news. Breaking: Burlington police and VSP respond to a suspicious package at Senator Bernie Sanders' office. And that's it. I haven't heard any more of this, but it's interesting. The Vermont State Police Bomb Squad unit was called in and are investigating. And it says Burlington Police, along with VT State Police at 1 North Avenue, has responded to a suspicious package at the office of Senator Sanders. Out of an abundance of caution, we have cleared offices in the building while it is assessed. Updates to follow. No injuries were reported. And somebody says, okay, I'm sorry. If you could only see what Xander's doing. I wish that I had a way of just flipping the camera around. I should maybe set up 2 cameras, and that way I could just go to camera 2 and show you what they're doing. That might be all right. Well, he's just being Xander. All right, it said, okay, well, we know where this is going. Deep State will blame conservatives. Right, exactly what I just said. That was my first thought, is that, okay, they're doing this, probably planted it himself to make, the conservatives look bad. And it says, I am making $92 an hour working from, okay, well, that's just one of those, yeah, there's nobody making $92 an hour working from home. And those are scams. And it said, yeah, that just, I hate those. They just spam. You ever see that, have you ever seen that by Monty Python's Flying Circus, the spam skit? One of the best ever. I will never forget that. That's my humor. Totally my humor. All right. That doesn't matter. That is neither here nor there, and we must go on. Now, I got to show you this. This made me laugh so hard. Of course, AOC and Senator Warren. When you were an Indian, did you kill buffaloes for their little wings? I don't know why, but it kills me. It really does. I love humor like that. I really do. All right, now let's look at this. Why? Because we can. New impeachment poll spells doom for Democrats. And this surprises no one. Didn't surprise me. According to the most recent polls, the American people as a whole do not support the impeachment of President Donald Trump. Despite these polls, Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, officially announced impeachment proceedings against President Trump based off a politically biased whistleblower with a secondhand account of a phone call between President Trump and the president of Ukraine. Even after the release, long-awaited Mueller report, the American people seem to agree that impeachment is not the way forward. Breitbart reports, since July, polls have shown that at least half of American voters have opposed beginning impeachment or an impeachment inquiry. Recent polls showed that the testimony of former special counsel Robert Mueller in late July did not even persuade voters to change their opinions on impeachment. Democrats are betting that this latest issue will Democrats are betting that this latest issue will, but a look at previous polls is not promising for them. In fact, I believe that they have signed their own death warrant, so to speak, because I think that even hardcore Democrats are starting to go, what? Really? They're just getting so ridiculous that I think they're even getting through to the Democrats, which says a lot. Yeah. Check out the polls below. Politico Morning Consult, September 18th, 37% of voters support beginning impeachment proceedings. 50% of voters oppose beginning impeachment proceedings. 12% are undecided. Monmouth? That can't be how you pronounce that. But anyway, University poll, August 22nd, 35% of voters support impeaching Trump. 61% of voters oppose impeaching Trump. 6% of voters do not know. 41% of voters think an impeachment inquiry is a good idea. 51% think an impeachment inquiry is a bad idea. 6% of voters don't know. Quinnipiac poll, July 30th, 32% of voters say Congress should begin impeachment proceedings. 60% of voters say Congress should not begin impeachment proceedings. 8% of voters don't know. NBC News, Wall Street Journal, July 14th, 21% of voters say Congress should begin impeachment and hearings. 50% of voters say Congress should not hold hearings. 27% of voters say Congress should continue investigating. 2% of voters say they were unsure. So this, and of course, ABC poll, July 17th, 37 say should not begin impeachment hearings. 59 say they should begin impeachment hearings. 4% of voters are unsure. Notice that, ABC and NBC, I believe those numbers are skewed. Even though the president clearly did nothing wrong, House Democrats have started an impeachment query into President Trump hours before the transcript between President Trump and the Ukrainian president was released, which goes against the very claims that started the impeachment inquiry in the first place. The memo stated, with President Trump congratulating Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on his election win. Shortly after the introduction, President Trump brings up Vice President Joe Biden and how he abused his power to fire a Ukrainian prosecutor who was investigating his son. There's a lot to talk about Biden's son, that Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people want to find out that. So whatever you can do with Attorney General would be great, Trump said in the call. Biden went around bragging that he had stopped the prosecution, so if you can look into it, sounds horrible to me. Zelensky then suggested to Trump, to President Trump, they would appoint a new prosecutor. He or she will look into the situation, specifically to the company that you mentioned in this issue. The issue of the investigation of the case is actually the issue to restore the honesty. So we will take care of that and we'll work on the investigation of the case. President Trump told Zelensky he would like his lawyer, Rudy Giuliani and Attorney General Bill Barr to be involved. I will have Mr. Giuliani give you a call. I'm also going to have Attorney Barr call, and we will get to the bottom of it. I'm sure you will figure it out, he added. What are your thoughts? Well, my thoughts are that that's not what he said. at all. At all. And we already know that. So, really, and the fact that, I mean, they're so biased, but the fact that they even admit that most people do not want to, impeach the president, don't even want an inquiry. That says something. And I think those numbers are way, way higher, to tell you the truth. All right. Let's go back. Oh, I love this. I love this. And you will too. I know you will. Really, you will. If I can get to it. Come on now. There we go. I have to talk nice to it and buy it dinner, and then it goes. All right. Former DNC Chair Donna Brazile conducts poll asking if Trump is a legitimate president. Immediately backfires. Well, well, well. And talk about being illegitimate. Yeah. The one on the left is illegitimate. All right. Democrats took a few months off from accusing President Trump of colluding with Russia after the president was exonerated in the Mueller report, but leftist lawmakers are once again baselessly crying for impeachment of President Trump over his conversations with a foreign leader. In an attempt to derail Trump, former Democratic National Committee Chair Donna Brazile is currently conducting a poll on Twitter asking Americans if they believe Trump is a legitimate president. Yeah, well, here's the poll. Is Donald Trump a legitimate president? 91% said yes. That's right, I said 91%. 9% said no. There was nobody undecided, apparently, or maybe it was just a yes or no question. So there you go. That's 91% of people said yes, he's a legitimate president. What kind of drugs are you smoking there, Donna? Really? Put the glue down and put the crack pipe down as well. Because, really, you're not fooling anybody. Nobody. Except 9% of people, which are probably brain dead. Just saying. Okay. Yet the poll posted by Brazile, who was infamously fired from CNN after getting busted providing the Hillary Clinton campaign debate questions, immediately backfired. Yes, it did. The most, and somebody responded here, the most legitimate president we've had since Reagan. Make America great again. An overwhelming 91% of respondents have voted in Trump's favor. Twitter users also question why Brazile refused to allow the Federal Bureau of Investigations to examine the alleged hacked DNC server that ignited the Russia probe. The trove of emails leaked from the server and published by WikiLeaks revealed numerous instances of internal corruption between the Clinton campaign and the DNC, including Brazile's coordination with the Clinton campaign to preemptively provide debate questions and the DNC's effort to rig the Democratic primary against Senator Bernie Sanders. And here's the thing. Isn't it interesting that Hillary was fed the questions of the debate? In all of the debate, she was fed the questions. She knew what they were going to ask. President Trump did not know. And yet, he smashed her, man. Smashed her. She can't even win a rigged election. I mean, really. And I heard somewhere, it was a rumor now, but I don't know. I'm not going to put it forth as fact because I don't know. I have not vetted it yet. But I have heard that Hillary is investigating as to whether she should put her hat in the ring for, that would make her, if she won, president in 2020. I had to think about that. 2020, yeah. That's the ticket. Okay. Let's just pray that doesn't happen. I mean, yes, it would be very humorous, but my thinking on that is it would be fun to watch her debate President Trump. However, if they wanted to move forward on prosecution of the things she's done, that would really put a crimp in it, because you know, he couldn't be investigating another candidate. So, which could be why Joe Biden is in this to begin with. All right, now, this person, David Higgins, said, was the DNC server legitimately hacked by a foreign power? If yes, then why don't you allow the FBI to investigate it? Well, that's a good question. How about you answer that, Donna Brazil? Yeah. While the Russia probe, which Democrats have used to delegitimize the president since he's taken office, is premised on allegations the DNC server was hacked by Russia, there remains no substantiation that the server was ever hacked. According to then DNC chair, the DNC hired the private cybersecurity. Can't talk. The DNC hired the private cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike to make a replica of the server's data and destroyed the server. That's what happened. All right. And this person responded to this poll and said, and that's hell yes, Donald Trump is, but again, how dare you even make a poll knowing your own scandals? True enough. And then this person said, Another Day in Paradise said, Brazil, CrowdStrike, cover-up artist. Yep. Respondents also flooded Brazil's tweet with demands she be fired from the Fox News channel. Heck yes, Fox should fire you ASAP. I second that. I third it, fourth it, fifth it. Whatever. Fire her. She doesn't deserve to work anywhere, really. Like, I wouldn't trust her to work at the Pound, the local Pound. I wouldn't trust her to bag groceries. I wouldn't trust her to go to the corner store for me. No, really. I wouldn't trust her to be a valet parker. Wouldn't trust her to be anything at all. I certainly wouldn't eat any meal she ever prepared for anybody. All right. So this is another poll by Aldous Huxley's Ghost. Is Donna Brazil an unbiased news source? 92% said no. Yeah. Well, if she's not unbiased, then what is she doing on Fox News, right? According to a Quinnipiac University poll released Wednesday, most Americans do not think Trump should be impeached and removed from office. Only 37% of respondents said the president should be impeached and removed, while 57% did not. That's pretty good. I mean, just about 60% of people say, no, we don't think he should be impeached or even investigated. So there you go. Let's go on. Why? Why not? All right, let me see this. Things that make you go, Bombshell. Ukrainian prosecutor swore under oath he was fired for refusing to drop Biden investigation. Well, let's see what this is. And this was posted September 27th. That's today. While Democrats and the media are fixated on President Donald Trump's faux scandal with Ukraine, new bombshell evidence just changed everything. According to an explosive report from The Hill's John Solomon, a former Ukrainian prosecutor swore under oath that he was fired for refusing to drop the investigation into former Vice President Joe Biden and his son, Hunter Biden. Excuse me one moment. This stuff is awful. I love kombucha, but this is a new brand, and it's hibiscus and rose hips. Well, it tastes like hibiscus and dead people's hips. That's what it tastes like. It's not nice at all. Okay. Solomon reports that he received secret memos detailing the court proceedings, hundreds of pages of never-released memos and documents, many from inside the American team, helping Burisma to stave off its legal troubles, conflict with Biden's narrative, and they raised the troubling prospect that U.S. officials may have painted a false picture in Ukraine that helped ease Burisma's legal troubles and stop prosecutors' plans to interview Hunter Biden during the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Ukraine's new president, Volodymyr Zelensky, told Trump in July that he plans to launch his own wide-ranging investigation into what happened with the Bidens and Burisma. The media has been going ballistic over a phone call Trump had with the Ukrainian president several months ago, where POTUS reportedly asked the foreign leader to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter over shady business dealings with a Ukrainian gas company. Trump says the phone call was about rooting out corruption. A whistleblower filed a complaint regarding the call, but it was revealed that the leaker did not even hear the phone call between Trump and the Ukrainian president. That's right, a complaint was filed about a call that the whistleblower never heard, and Democrats are demanding Trump be impeached over a call they also never heard. The allegations are that Hunter allegedly profited financially from his father's time as vice president, and he did. Straight out of the Clintons' playbook, Hunter was hired to sit on the board of powerful companies because he allegedly claimed he could use his father's power as the vice president. This all happened when Biden was serving as the VP. And remember, Hunter was caught with the crack pipe. I mean, he was kicked out of I don't know if it was the Army or the Navy because of drug use. I think he lasted a month. So, I mean, this is not, a fine, upstanding citizen by any stretch of the imagination. The details emerged as the Ukrainian government recently reopened an investigation into the company which once paid Hunter Biden roughly $50,000 a month. That company, Burisma Holdings, was being probed by Ukraine's top prosecutor. Joe Biden allegedly pressured and tried to intimidate the Ukrainian government to remove the prosecutor from the case, and his plan actually worked. Biden, who was still serving as the vice president, went to Kiev in March 2016 and threatened to withhold $1 billion in U.S. loan guarantees if Ukraine's leader did not dismiss the country's top prosecutor, Yuri Lutsenko, who had been accused of turning a blind eye to corruption in his own office and among the political elite. The Ukrainian parliament caved and removed Lysenko as the prosecutor on the case, and Hunter still benefited significantly from his father's actions and position. It certainly looks like Biden used his power as VP to pressure Ukraine into removing the prosecutor who was investigating a shady deal involving his son. And we know that's exactly what happened. And now you have a Ukrainian prosecutor swearing under oath that he was fired for refusing to drop the Biden investigation. He was doing his job and he was fired because of Joe Biden's shakedown and threatening to withhold money from the Ukraine government. How unpleasant is that? Well, and the thing is, it's just kind of ironic that they are all, it's fine as far as they're concerned. They don't care about what Biden did. They don't care. Why? Because they're just as guilty of as many other things as he is. I mean, they're guilty of their own crimes. So they're like, let him go. No, Trump. Yeah, so they've turned it around. Now Trump is on the hot seat for doing the thing that Biden actually did. And he is innocent. Trump. So anyway, I hate it. Now, let's look at this. No, really, let's. I wonder if it's my little Sammy clicker that, my little Sammy cursor that causes it to be so difficult. I have to click on things a couple times, and I'm wondering if it's the cursor, really, because I never had this problem before. I might have to go back to a regular old boring cursor. But I love my Sammy cursor now. All right, bingo! Clinton Foundation donor amounts by country. Guess who was number 1? Ukraine became a vast pool of U.S. taxpayer-funded aid that poured into that long corrupt nation and then saw piles of kickbacks return to powerful and politically connected recipients. The far-left media is trying to ignore how many times Joe Biden grabbed some of that Ukraine stash for his family, but chances are it wasn't anywhere near what the Clintons did, and all with the blessing of President Obama. See for it yourself. Foreign donors. Now, this is foreign donors to the Clinton Foundation. So, contributions by individuals of more than $50,000 to Clinton Foundation. 1999 to 2014 by nationality of donor. So, this is made up of people that have contributed more than $50,000. So there might be additional donors, but this is only counting those that contributed a large amount, $50,000 or more, to the Clinton Foundation. And guess who's number 1? Ukraine, with 10 million. England is next, 8.4. Saudi Arabia, 7.3. Germany, 6.7. Ireland, that's a surprise, 6.5. India, 5. Canada, 4.5. Yeah, that's due to the turd there in office because he gave a lot of taxpayer money into the Clinton Foundation, I'm sure, for favors. And then it goes down from there: Argentina, United Arab Emirates. And what country is the least? Sri Lanka and France. Bosnia, Nigeria, Greece, China. These are pretty, those are low amounts. United Arab Emirates. So, yeah, there you've got the top ones anyway. Ukraine, England, Saudi Arabia. But by far, Ukraine is number 1. $10 million they gave to the Clinton Foundation. Now, I wonder why that is. Sure. We know. And check out this excerpt from a 2015 report between 2009 and 2013, including when Mrs. Clinton was Secretary of State. The Clinton Foundation received at least $8.6 million from Viktor Pinchuk Foundation. According to that foundation, which is based in Kiev, Ukraine, it was created by Mr. Pinchuk, whose fortune stems from a pipe-making company. He served 2 terms as an elected member of the Ukrainian parliament and is a proponent of closer ties between Ukraine and the European Union. Now we'll connect the dots that bind Mr. Pinchuk and the Obama White House via this Fox News report of 3 days ago, triangulating Manafort, Obama, Clinton, and Ukraine. It is in connection with Paul Manafort that we encounter some genuine collusion targeting the 2016 campaign, willful collaboration among foreign governments, the Obama administration, and the Clinton campaign. Manafort had brought influential Democrats into his Ukrainian work, such as former Obama White House counsel Greg Craig and the consulting firm started by Obama and Clinton advisor John Podesta, a firm that is still run by Podesta's brother. Leshenko just happened to be a vassal of Viktor Pinchuk, a Ukrainian billionaire who just happens to give millions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation. Wonder of wonders! Leshenko took a public, strident anti-Trump position during the U.S. campaign, highly unusual for a foreign parliamentarian, which brings us back to Serhiy Leshenko, Ukraine's unabashed Clinton backer, and what do you know? Besides serving the government in Kiev and providing a scintillating geopolitical analysis, Leshenko has a side job he was a source for, wait for it, Fusion GPS. Oh, the Clinton campaign opposition arm led by Glenn Simpson, which later dreamed up the Steele dossier. Oh, the tangled webs we weave when first we practice to deceive. Tangled webs. What the above outlines is the multi-millions cash grab that Ukraine had become for the Clintons, some of their closest associates and members of the Obama administration. Those in Ukraine who were benefiting from this as well didn't want to see the billions pouring in from U.S. taxpayer-funded aid to end. They offered help to the Clinton campaign to attack then candidate Donald Trump. This help reached far beyond the borders of Ukraine and included, but was not limited to, foreign agents in Great Britain, Italy, and elsewhere. Interesting that the top supporter for the Clinton Foundation, the top support by foreigners is from Ukraine, and the second is from England. Yeah. So, let me see, where did I leave off? Yeah, it's interesting that those in Ukraine who were benefiting from this, they didn't want to see it end because there was billions of dollars pouring into their coffers. So they offered to help Clinton. And how did they help Clinton? Well, by the Steele dossier. And who were they helped by? Great Britain. Yeah, so this help reached far beyond the borders of Ukraine and included, but was not limited to, foreign agents in Great Britain, Italy, and elsewhere. And to be sure, none of this far-reaching corruption could have taken place without the blessing of President Obama, Vice President Joe Biden, etc. When Donald Trump won the presidency, the enemies of America, both internal and external, were all stunned and scared. No doubt they were scared. And for good reason. The Trump-Russia hoax followed. When that failed, when President Trump refused to buckle and successfully fought back, this latest Ukraine Trump scheme was hatched and unleashed, and strident screeching for impeachment soon followed. And that's exactly what it was. Screeching, like Nancy Pelosi, nails on a chalkboard. And the eyebrows. Who can forget the eyebrows? I think we need an investigation. Eyebrow gate. That's what I think we need. I'm just saying. All right. I wish somebody would wipe that smile off her face permanently. And I don't mean, I'm not asking for any harm to come to her. Relax, not making any threats or anything like that. I'm just saying that, if she were sent to Gitmo, say, I think that would probably wipe that smile off her face. Anyway, the Trump-Russia hoax followed. When that failed, when President Trump refused to buckle and successfully fought back, the latest Ukraine Trump scheme was hatched and unleashed, and strident screeching for impeachment soon followed. And yeah, there's one of the screechers herself, probably laughing there about the people that were killed in Benghazi. She seemed to find that humorous, if you recall. So there you go. It all comes together. It all comes together. All right. I can't remember what this is, so let's go take a look real quick. And, oh yes, now I remember. And I think this is the last thing that we're going to cover on this video anyway. And this says, at Sarah Carter, at Sean Hannity, at Rudy Giuliani, at POTUS, Biden and McCain were helping Ukrainian military leaders and politicians profit from weapons sales to Ukraine, then to terror groups that used weapons to fight against Ukrainian army. Pelosi, Nuland, Bolton, all involved. Now, I haven't had time to really look into this, but I don't know. It sure sounds right to me. And this is far too, I can't read this, it's too small, but I am going to look into this further because I happen to believe this. And let's come down here and see what else this person has to say. Biden and McCain were helping Ukrainian military leaders and politicians profit from weapons sales to Ukraine, then to terror groups that use weapons to fight against Ukrainian army. Okay, we just read that. And let's come down here. Okay, so they've just retweeted the same thing out several times, wanting to get it out. So I want to look into this a little further before I comment too much, to see if it is actually legitimate. It looks like this person has done a good deal of research on this, so I'm going to follow their research and see. All right, and actually I think I will go ahead and follow this person. And all right, so I think that's it for tonight. And let me just go back here one more time and see. I think this is all I had planned to cover in this video, and yes, it is. So that's it for tonight, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Hopefully, I hope you come back. You know, otherwise I'm stuck speaking to no one in particular except the cats, and they don't really say too much back. So that's it. All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful night. Stay safe, stay blessed, and keep seeking truth, because you got it. Deception bites.